what's good, everybody? It's Sean P. the Bluff God. Today I'm kind of feeling like the rough guy. You know, you see me different, man. I got a whole fro out here. I got a whole afro out here, man. I need to get this chopped off soon. But anyway, that's not what we here for. Today we come to talk about One Piece. And today we will be talking about One Piece chapter 1022. What's called The Stars Take the Stage. Had to pull it up real quick. Today I'm thinking this might not be a super long stream today. This chapter was super simple, and I have a few topics I want to talk about, but nothing too in depth that I've seen in this chapter. So it should relatively be a little shorter of a stream. You know, usually I'm sitting around an hour, sometimes an hour, 20 minutes, whatever. But we might have to cut that, But yeah, so anyway, before we get into the chapter, make sure you like the stream. I do these for y'all, so show some love, show some support, like the stream. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell for notifications so you know when I go live. And also before I get into it, the beat you heard in the countdown of the stream was the beat that I did on this channel on Friday recently, like last Friday. So go check that stream out, show some love, give it a like or whatever. If you're interested in seeing how I make the music and everything, I do my beat vlogs. I try to do them on Friday. That was episode 12, so that was like my 12th vlog or whatever. So yeah, so make sure you check that out. But anyway, let's get into it. One Piece chapter 1022, The Stars Take the Stage. And the cover page is nothing major. We got the Tontatas like sitting on like some flowers playing hide and go seek with a frog or whatever. And not major. That ain't what we here for. Let's get to the chapter. I didn't want to do that. Okay, so we kind of get I want to say kind of a macro view of what's going on Onigashima. Right now, and it's still the battle. They talk about how like the animal pirates had over 30,000, but because Otama, her devil fruit kind of tilted, I guess, the balance over in the samurai's favor, because they only had 5,400 guys in the beginning. But because Otama's devil fruit ability, now some of the beast pirates turn to the alliance, right? And we also get a shot. We see the Toby Ropo down, but we only see three of them. We only see Black Maria, we see Who's Who, and we see Sasaki. We don't see of course we don't see X Drake, because X Drake isn't down, and he's not. I guess he turned coat as well. We don't see Alti, and we don't see Page One. Even though last time I think we seen Alti and Page One, they were put down by Zeus, like Nami and Zeus. At least Alti was. I forgot what happened with Page One, but I think he was put down by Big Mom, I want to say. So yeah, if I remind me in the chats how Alti and Page One was put down. I do remember Alti being put down by Nami when she had Zeus, and I forgot how Page. I remember Page One being punched by Big Mom though, but damn, I do not remember what happened with Page One. But yeah, so they're missing X Drake, Page One, Alti. They're all missing from this panel. We only get Black Maria, Who's Who and Sasaki, they're the only ones that are down, you know, and that we see that are still down. But yeah, so we get a rough estimate of where Onigashima is in relation with the flower capital, you know. So it seems like it's halfway between the ocean, the coast, and the flower capital. And you know, we see that it's 15 minutes away. And you know, anime time, that's like that could be another that could be about 30 episodes, 15 minutes, you know what I'm saying? That could be a good 30, 40 episodes. You know. But yeah, so we cut to a fight that I didn't. I guess I forgot what's going on. Like I didn't even register that this fight was happening in my mind. But we see Razo facing off against Fukuro Koju inside like the castle. And hold on, I got a comment say I guess we just assume Nami and Big Mom beat Page One also. Yeah, man. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I just I wonder why. You know, I just wonder why they wasn't shown on that panel. You know, like are they still down? Cause like it was a panel that was at, it said the Toby Ropo. It said now the enemy's fearsome Toby Ropo are down and out, but it only shows Black Maria, Who's Who, and Sasaki. You know, it doesn't show X Drake. I mean, we all know that X Drake kind of turncoat, and he still should be good, but it doesn't show Alti in Page One. You know. Oh yeah, and after we see the you know, we get the where Onigashima is, we see like Luffy up, like after he just ate all that food, so he's fat right now. And you know, we don't get anything of Momonosuke and Luffy. So there's that. But we go back to the castle and we see that there's a fire. You know, the room is basically burning where Raizo and Fukuro Koju is fighting. Frederick Frederick said had someone say they wouldn't be surprised if they came back. Alti and Page One, yeah, they might not be down. Or are you talking about all Toby Ropo? Because personally, I hope they're not down and out. Like you know, I would like to see some more of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see them continue fight, see how tough they are. You know what I'm saying? Like if they come back, it shows that they really are tough. Plus, they're zone. Like most of them are zone devil fruit, so they should be pretty durable. You know, so I'm kind of something in me is kind of like I hope they come back. I hope they come back. So we get Raizo asking Fukurokuju like, hey, you know, so why you betray the Kazuki for Orochi, right? You know, and Fukurokuju basically says like, you know, we shinobi only exist to serve the shogun. Like whoever it is, it don't matter. It don't matter if he's evil. It don't matter if he's good. It don't matter if he's a good person. You know, whoever the shogun, whoever sits in that position, whoever sits in that seat, that's who we serve. You know, so I would say Fukuro Koju, like his his allegiance is with whoever's shogun at the time. You know, according to him at least. You know, because I feel as though he's still kind of some snake. There's some snakeness because he should know that Momonosuke is the heir, right? Momonosuke is the only true heir. So by that, Orochi doesn't have the right to the throne. He doesn't have right to that position because Kazuki blood is still alive. You know, I mean that's usually how like royalty works. Like when they find out there's an heir to the true previous king, they usually want to put him into that position. And Orochi was not a true heir to that position. He was only holding that position until he was really supposed to be holding that position for Odin. But then he did all that snake stuff, and that's what happened. And so I don't know. I kind of want to call BS on that what Fukuro Koju said about he's basically he serves whoever's the shogun is. I kind of call BS. I think he's serious, but there is some BS in there. Because when he found out Momonosuke was alive, that's when he should say, well, Momonosuke is the true heir to the shogun. So this guy, Orochi, is not really official. At least that's how I look at it. So, Raizo basically, Fukurokoju basically says, hey, speak for yourself too. The person who you serve is dead. The guy, he's basically a ghost at this point. But he was really just saying, he's dead. So why are you even coming at me for serving Orochi? At least I have a master. That's kind of low key what he's saying. At least I have a master. You serving a dead man. I'm serving somebody still alive. And then Fukurokoju basically scolds Raizo, basically saying, you was good, but you was too emotional. You was a good ninja, but you was too emotional. That's your one weakness. And Raizo basically says, hey, that's what makes us who we are. That emotion is what makes us who we are. And he also talks about how he was supposed to die with Odin. Or we were they were supposed to die with Odin or whatever. And according to Wano, they were dead. According to Wano, they were dead. They had the graves and everything. And he talks about how like we're following him because we want to follow him, because our emotions is telling us to follow our Lord Odin, right? And then he said, if we had to die to accomplish what Odin wanted, then so be it. Whatever. Lord Momonosuke will be Shogun, which he should, and that's kind of where I feel as though Fukurokoju, that's where he's wrong at. It's like he should be like, yo, Momonosuke, a Kazuki member, is still alive. I should be serving him, not this rat. So that's kind of why I call a little BS on Fukurokoju's his reasoning. So anyway, we basically cut to Hawkins and Killer fighting, which I don't recall them fighting. Like, I didn't know they were. I don't remember when they started fighting, when it was set up for them to fight. But regardless, we're here. We're here. Which, no complaining from me, because we got two supernova fighting. We got two supernova fighting. And it seems like Killer has the advantage in this situation. Like he pretty much it seems like he's kind of outclassing Hawkins. And Hawkins is in his scarecrow form, like I want to say. Well, yeah, he's in the scarecrow form, because I forgot he had the one where his sword could turn into like a scarecrow, and it's like he's extending it through his sword, but then he also has a form where he turns into a scarecrow as well. So I'm kind of curious about his devil fruit. Like, how does it affect the sword? You know, like is it an awakening where he awakened his devil fruit to be able to manipulate the sword into like an extension of him? Like, cause nobody really talks about that. I feel as though nobody really talks about how Hawkins used his devil fruit, extended his devil fruit abilities through his sword. Like on that meeting when he seen Zoro and Luffy, you know, unless I'm tripping, unless he didn't use the sword, but I remember him using the sword. So it's like nobody talks about how it, like is his sword special? You know, is his sword special, or does he have his is his ability awakened where he can extend it through, he can manipulate his sword as an extension of him. So I'm curious about that. But in this panel we see him in his scarecrow form fighting Killer, and Killer seems to be, you know, pretty much dominating, right? Now I don't know if Hawkins is letting him dominate because he holds this little ace in the hole that he's about to reveal, which would make sense why he's letting Killer dominate. But it could also be the case that Killer's just a better overall fighter than Hawkins, which I'm gonna talk more about this, you know, later. You know, but so anyway, Hawkins basically, Killer basically asked Hawkins like, "Hey, how many replacements do you have left there?" You know, and and he says barely, and like barely any. My outlook is poor. He. I pity those, and and then he said, but while there are few left, the real question is whose lives are they? See, this is where Hawkins' ability, which I'm gonna talk more like later on after the stream. This is where Hawkins' ability kind of thrives. But anyway, we kind of cut to where we see Big Mom and we see Big Mom standing off with Kid in Law, you know, and Law asks Kid, "Hey man, what's gotten into you? What's wrong, Eustace?" And we see Kid got this like stab wound in him, and then we cut back to Hawkins and Killer. So it's heavily implied. It's almost confirmed. You might as well say it's confirmed. I'm gonna just treat it as if that's what, you know, that's what Oda is saying. But Hawkins or Killer is basically when he's attacking Hawkins, Hawkins is basically using Kid's life as a shield, right? And matter of fact, he even goes so far to admit it. He said it would have been satisfying to allow you to kill Kid yourself without realizing what you've done. But then I decided it would be more entertaining to tell you and watch you struggle to attack me. So, you know, he basically confirms it like, hey, you know, you attacking me, you're attacking your captain. So there's that. You know. And he says the only way you can finish me off is by personally killing your own captain. And then he said, "Go on, then put on a show for me." And then Killer basically says, "Fa fa fa fa," you know, his laugh. I like your style. So Kid kind of even give him Kid gives him a little credit for his little underhanded tactics, and it would make sense for Kid because Kid and or not Kid Killer and Kid are like, you know, they're all pretty ruthless and they got ruthless tactics. So I would see why he would commend Hawkins on such an underhanded tactic. So we cut down to the performance floor, and we see. I really like this panel. It's a super badass looking panel where you see King and Queen, where it's like King's burning up, and you know, they're just standing there talking about like, you know, addressing all the traitors, talking about, hey, there's a price for y'all treason, right? and it's like you see all you. It looks like a lot of the, I guess the beast pirates that betrayed them are all like on fire. That like King put them all on fire, and and then we see Sanji. He's like down because he's like he's knocked down, and he's like, you know, I don't know if I could fight all them. You know, the two of them are just too much for me. You know what I'm saying? And he says, you know, they're looking for Zoro, or no, I think one of the samurai say, hey, they're looking for Zoro Joro, right? They still know him by Zoro Joro instead of just Zoro, even though the official calls him Zolo for some reason. I know a lot of people don't like that. The Shonen Jump calls Zoro Zolo. So anyway, you know, it's look like everybody. It just seems like it's despair at the moment. Like it's just they're in a losing situation. Marco is down. We see Marco down, looking like he's down and out for the count. And then you know, Sanji calls out to Chopper and Dr. Miyagi. He says, you know, if the medicine ain't working, just get Zoro out of here. You know, just get him out of here. You know, and you know they're talking about, you know, we gave him medicine, it's just taking longer. You know, he's in bad condition, and so Sanji goes back into attack Queen and King, and you know they're still, you know, they're basically still looking. They're looking for Zoro, I guess, because he's just easy target. So let's get rid of Zoro now while he's down and out. And we get Pearl Sparrow with his candy bow and arrow, looking like he's about to shoot Sanji. And you know he says, if you just simply marry Puddin like you were told to, we never have to team up with these creatines. So you know, Pearl Sparrow just mad that he has to be there in the first place. He don't want to be. He don't want to be with the Beast Pirates. You know, he got that big mom. He got that big mom pirates pride. And so before Pearl Sparrow could get that shot off, we see Nekomamushi step in and basically tell him, "Hey, step outside. This is for Pedro." You know, Nekomamushi is coming because he wants the smoke. Because Pearl Sparrow is the reason Pedro is dead. So you know, Nekomamushi wants that smoke. He wants to be the one to avenge Pedro, which I'm down for because Pedro is my dog. I like Pedro. I like Pedro. So so basically you get a bunch of guys running with Zoro. You know, they running with Zoro, trying to protect him. You know, and King steps in front of him. King basically intercepts him. This crew that got Zoro, and he's basically going for like a fireball, you know. And right when he attacks, Marco steps, cuts it off, takes the attack with his you know, his devil fruit healing abilities. You know, he's pretty much a tank. Marco pretty much a tank, and he just takes that attack, you know. And he says this. Hold on, I kind of want to acknowledge. There's the Undying Thistle Imperial Flame. That's the attack that King tried to hit Zoro with, while Marco basically intercepted it. And you know, after Marco intercepts it, he says, "I've heard tales from long, long ago about the race of people atop the Red Wall who could burst into flames, and here we have King the Wildfire." Yeah, we need to talk about it. I didn't write that in my notes, but we definitely need to talk about. You know, that might be a deeper topic into another video, like King's race. Like I don't know. I think we need a little more before we can really dive into King's race, because you know Big Mom pointed it out, and now we got Marco pointing it out. So there's something significant about King's race. Um, and you know, he said, "Now what does that mean?" Basically, that's what King responds with Marco, and you know, Queen basically said, "Hey man, you still alive? What? the white beard pirates are supposed to be dead." And then we get Marco basically like, "Hey man, I give up. I give up, y'all. You guys are right. You are right. I give up." And then he says, "It's time for the stars to take the stage." And we basically see Zoro kind of like ripped out of his, like he's basically like ripping out of his bandages, and or he basically like ripped out of his bandages. I don't know if he's really still in there. I think he just like ripped out of it and like basically bounced. And we all we see is we see a three sword style, and then we get Sanji with the Diable, and then Zoro Purgatory Oni, and then so basically Zoro's hitting him with the three sword style Purgatory Onigiri, and we get Sanji attacking with the Diable and Mellet. Both inflicting their attacks on King and Queen. So you know that's a real hype moment. To see anytime we get Zoro and Sanji just doing like a combo attack, bro, that's always a hype moment right there. That's always a hype moment. But so you know the Alliance, they all excited that Straw has his back. And, we get Zoro basically saying, "Hey Twirly, once we conquer this battle, yeah." And then Sanji said, "Yeah, we're going to catch a glimpse of Luffy as the pirate or as the king of the pirates." I mean, you know, we always kind of known that. So that's pretty much the portion of recap portion of the discussion. And there's like a few things I kind of want to go over. Not, you know, like I said, it's not going to be too long of a stream because stuff I kind of want to go over. I don't really have much to go in depth in each of them, but just kind of want to go over. First, I want to talk about Fukuro Koju and Raizo. You know, the fight between them two. You know, like I forgot they was fighting. I really forgot that they was fighting, and seeing them fight now, you know, it seems like they have a much deeper relationship. You know, like we know that Raizo was part of the Onio Banchu. Is it that Onio? Fukuro Koju's like ninjas. We know he was part of like Fukuro Koju's men, right? We know that, but like I feel as though they had even deeper relation. Like they could have possibly had a deeper relationship than you know, we made him know, might know. You know what I'm saying? Because like going back to it, I feel as though like Fukuro Koju probably seen him as a like was kind of a mentor. Like I'm thinking Fukuro Koju might have been a mentor towards Raizo and seen a lot of potential in Raizo, so he kind of might have created a special bond. Because I feel as though when he was talking to Raizo and he started yelling at him, I felt as though that came at that wasn't just like he was just yelling at him. It kind of seemed like it was almost like came out of place of anger because he was disappointed in him, you know, because maybe he raised Raizo to be a good ninja, but Raizo you know, and Raizo had the potential, but Raizo was just emotional. You know, he wasn't where Fukuro Koju was more calculating, where, you know, he will betray he would jump from master to master. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said about him, he said we Shinobi exist to serve the Shogun, whomever it is, right? But if you think about it, Momonosuke is still alive, so he is the rightful heir to be the Shogun. You know, so if he was truly like honorable and wanting to fight for the Shogun, he would want to fight for the true heir, the true Shogun, and not just this guy who kind of weaseled himself up to the position of Shogun. You know what I'm saying? So, but Raizo wouldn't do that. Raizo is more honorable. So I think Fukuro Koju is more disappointed that Raizo, isn't as cold as him, and he wanted probably a different path for Raizo, like maybe he almost looked at him as like a son or something. Like, I don't. This is kind of my speculation. Maybe it wasn't their relationship wasn't that deep, but I just kind of think like him yelling at him wasn't just like, him just yelling. I think it was like maybe some disappointment as like a father figure or mentor would be disappointed. They would yell at somebody they looked at as their disciple or something, and that they had high hopes for. So, but yeah, I hope we get a flashback, possibly of a short flashback of their relationship. You know what I'm saying? And there ain't gotta be a whole chapter or nothing. Like, come on, like. But yeah, just give us like a page of 2 pages of their history before Raizo left. Before he left, and I guess joined with Odin or whatever. And next, I want to talk about Hawkins, the genius of Hawkins. And I like one thing I said about Hawkins was like I was talking about how Killer kind of seemed like he was dominating, like he had the advantage in that fight against Hawkins, and I was thinking like Hawkins was either allowing Killer to have that advantage, or Killer just is a better fighter than Hawkins, and I'm kind of thinking it may be a mixture of both, I do think Killer might be better than Hawkins as a fighter, because Killer seems more of a fighter, kind of like Zoro is a fighter compared to Luffy. Luffy could fight, but Zoro is probably the fighter of the crew. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of a bad comparison, because Luffy fights just as much as Zoro. But I guess my point was Zoro, that's all he does is fight. Zoro, as far as Luffy, he's also a captain. He also leads, So, like sometimes Luffy would tell Zoro to go attack, or Zoro would just attack on his own, But, and that's how I kind of look at Killer. I look at Killer and Kid kind of similar to Luffy and Zoro, But I look at Killer as a very, like, just he's more of a fighter. He's a fighter, right? And I look at Hawkins, I don't really see a fighter. I look at it as a calculating character who is capable of fighting. You know what I'm saying? But fighting somebody like Killer, he's outmatched, but that's kind of where he has to use his wit. That's where he has to use his wit, and he has to kind of like what he did with Law, right? When he, like, come on, like, I don't think nobody believed that Hawkins was going to be able to beat Law if Law didn't have his little tricks, his little ability up his sleeve. You know what I'm saying? So I think Hawkins is a capable fighter. I just don't think in the tier of Supernova, I will probably put him in the lower end of capable fighters. You know what I'm saying? He has to rely more on his tactic, and and which leads me to how did he get Kid? How did he get Kid's, I guess, life, right? to where he put it into the little voodoo doll that Killer is currently attacking. You know, but how did he get a hold of kid? How did he get a hold of kid's life? Like like is there like does he have to get like a hair of somebody? Like does he have Luffy as well? You know, does he have like a hair of Luffy? So if you know if need be, he can use Luffy's life to get out of a situation. Like I want to know more how Hawkins get these lives. You know what I'm saying? Like what's the method? If does it like if he touches you, if does he plant something on you? What? You know what I mean? So yeah, I want to know more about Hawkins' ability and how he gets these lives. How did he get kids' life? You know, and where would y'all rate Hawkins in as a fighter? You know, do you believe he's a high tier supernova, mid tier, or low tier as far as fighting? You know, because honestly, I think Apu is probably a better fighter than Hawkins. Like if we serious, I think Apu is, you know, better at least as fighting wise than Hawkins. Like I would probably put Apu like mid tier, like high mid tier. You know, Hawkins would probably be like look like he'd probably be down there with Jory Bonnie. You know, I don't know if Jory Bonnie's a capable fighter as well. She hasn't really shown anything fight wise to make me believe that she is up. Like we get information about like Aruj, where he defeated a commander. He defeated Snack. So we kind of got to gauge that he can at least defeat a Yonko commander, a first or a third Yonko third level Yonko commander. You know what I mean? Or it'll be fourth in Snack's case. It'd be fourth because he probably not above Cracker. But yeah, unless like Cracker replaced him or something. I don't know. All right, moving on. Nico versus like Nekomamushi versus Pearl Sparrow, which which is what I'm kind of hyped about, you know, because I really like how they're keeping the story of Pearl Sparrow not really killing Pedro, but forcing Pedro to kill himself and still being alive. You know what I'm saying? Like being responsible for Pedro's death, right? Which I can't really blame Pearl Sparrow. Like, as much as I like Pedro, like I did like Pedro. I thought he was an honorable character. He went out honorably. I can't blame Pearl Sparrow because Pearl Sparrow was doing his job. Pedro was an invader. Pedro, Luffy, um, Carrot, Nami, Brooke, and who am I forgetting? Not Chopper. Chopper? Was Chopper on Whole Cake Island? I don't remember. But Sanji, you know, like I think he was. I think he was. But lost my train of thought. I lost my train. So yeah, they were invaders. They invaded Whole Cake Island. Pearl Sparrow did his job, and Pedro got killed because he decided to invade Whole Cake Island, and he also uh, kamikaze himself. It wasn't really Pearl Sparrow, but I still get why Nekomamushi and all the mix would still be mad at Pearl Sparrow because at the end of the day, Pedro did it trying to stop him, and Pearl Sparrow didn't die. But but yeah, so I like how they're continuing that, and it's nice. It's nice to see. We see Nekomamushi getting a good fight against a high-ranking officer to a Yonko. You know, being Big Mom. Because honestly, I think Peril Sparrow could potentially be a commander. I think, you know, he was probably when he came to Whole Cake Island, he was probably the most competent character. He was the most competent child of Big Mom's. You know what I'm saying? And he seemed like he was a very competent fighter. He seemed pretty strong. Like, you know, he did more than Smoothie, and Smoothie is like the second commander. Like Peril Sparrow was putting in more work than Smoothie, you know, and he's not even the commander. So, but yeah, so you guys think we'll see get some? Do you guys think that Pedro will get justice? That Nekomamushi will um, put down Peril Sparrow, and we'll see some justice for Pedro. I mean, I kind of would like, you know, they for them to get some revenge for Pedro. Even again, like I said, I don't think Peril Sparrow was in the wrong for that situation. I don't think he was in the wrong for that situation, but he's still an enemy, and and he still was the cause of Pedro's death. All right, and this stream has turned out to be just as long. But anyway, we about to wrap it up with last topic. We got King and Zoro Sanji versus King and Queen. You know, there's something I also wanted to talk about. I also wanted to bring something up. I kind of gotta apologize. I kind of gotta apologize. Not really apologize, but I kind of gotta take something. I gotta. I guess I would say I'll take some accountability in something I said about Marco specifically. I've said before, you know, and I think it's time for me to put respect on Marco's name because I have. There's been times where I disrespected Marco, and I'm gonna take accountability. I'm gonna take responsibility of that. I I'm putting respect on Marco's name because back then I used to call Marco a glorified tank. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this chapter proved anything right, but just kind of prove anything wrong or anything. But like just looking at the last episode of when Marco came back and kind of looking how he was able to stand up to Akainu, even though I don't think he could actually, you know, like I don't know if he had the attack power to really hurt like Akainu or Kizaru or anything, like in a real serious one on one and not just like a war where just different encounters happen. Like I don't know if he would beat a Admiral, but I do think that Marco has shown a lot. You know that like he's shown that he's capable. Now I don't know as an attacker if how you know put my words together. I don't know how capable of an attacker he is compared to some of the other commanders, but he's as a fighter, he as someone who gets something done, he's capable. Like he was able to hold King and Queen back, and like I said, I don't think he was able to really hurt them. Like he had no advantage. Like I think at best he can do was just to keep them busy. You know what I'm saying? Because like when we see this chapter, he's down. I mean, he's not down for good, but he was pretty much down. You know, like it was looking like he's down. Like his stamina. He said his stamina was at his limit, so he had it. Marco has a limit, and King and Queen both pushed him to that limit. But the fact he was able to hold his own against King and Queen, regardless if he was able to hurt him or not, I feel as though that deserves to be commended. The fact that he's been able to hold his own against admirals too is regardless if he could hurt them. it needs to be commended. So I'm putting some respect on Marco's name for here on out. I'm gonna put some respect on him because he has been doing. Because as far as competency, Marco is a very competent fighter. You know, his attack power may not be strong compared to a lot of other characters, but he is very competent. So I put some respect on his name. But anyway, going back to Sanji versus Zoro. You know, it's gonna be relatively quick. I think most people, most of the community, we all kind of expected this. We expected King Queen versus Sanji, and in some form or manner. Like I've said things where I believe that it might take Sanji and Zoro together to defeat one commander. But I think, I think that theory has been proven wrong. I think, like it's basically set up where it's going to be, either Zoro and Sanji in kind of like a tag team type situation fighting King and Queen, where it's like it's just kind of, Zoro attacking King, Zoro attacking Queen, Sanji attacking King, Sanji attacking Queen, same with King attacking Zoro and Sanji. It might be something like that where it's just we just fighting y'all. Or it may break off into Zoro and King, Zoro versus King, and then it might break off to Sanji versus Queen, which, I mean, I kind of like the thought of a tag team. I kind of like the thought of like King and like Zoro and Sanji doing combos on King and Queen respectively, and vice versa. But yeah. So I think, I don't know which one we're gonna get. You guys let me know in the comments. Are they gonna break off into their own 1v1s, or is it just gonna be them all fighting in the same area like that? And there was another thing I've said before. Like I would kind of like to see Sanji take on King. Only because I feel as though the matchup of Sanji being able to, because King is somebody who can fly, right? King has his wings, he can fly. He's not a pterodactyl, but it's like another dinosaur, kind of like it. And the fact that he can fly, I feel as though he's a better matchup for Zoro, Sanji. But I think it's going to be pretty much Zoro versus King, pretty much, and Sanji versus Queen. I think it's going to be that. And then I also like to kind of wrap it up. I kind of want to point out what was said at the end of the chapter, at the bottom of that last page. We get Zoro and Sanji talking, basically saying, "Hey Twirly, once we conquer this battle, yeah, we're going to catch a glimpse of Luffy as the king of the pirates." Now, I was thinking about this. I'm like, yeah, if Luffy comes out on top of all this, it would pretty much be that solidification that, he's arrived at that point where he can officially be considered a Yonko, right? And even though I don't think being a Yonko is really important for Luffy, he wants to be more than a Yonko. He's not aiming for being a Yonko. He's aiming for being the Pirate King. But I'm saying if he, how Morgans gave him the title of a Yonko, I believe if at the end of Wano, if Luffy beats Kaido, he can officially claim that title. But I don't think it's relevant for Luffy. He's going after being the Pirate King. So, but it will be a step in that direction. It will be that first solidification that yes, this Luffy is. It will be that glimpse of like, yes, he is the Pirate King. Not now, but he is the one that will be the Pirate King. But I also wanted to the reason why I wanted to point that out, because I also wanted to offer an alternative an alternative to this. Now, when you look at this, it gives you that hope. Like, yeah, at the end of this battle, Luffy will be looking like the Pirate King. But what if at the end of the battle they still lose? Like, what if ultimately they lose? The Alliance loses. You know? Now, and I still think at the end of the series, Luffy's going to become Pirate King. So, yes, it still holds that weight. But I'm also looking at it from like, what if what if they lose this battle? Because he said, hey, Trolley, once we conquer this battle, yeah, we're going to catch a glimpse of Luffy as the king of the Pirate King, of the pirates. What the alternative to it? What if they lose the battle? What if they lose the battle? Now, at the end of the day, of course, like I said, Luffy will be the Pirate King, so it's not gonna really matter if they lose. But it's like, you know, what kind of development would that leave for the Straw Hats? You know, there'll be that seed of doubt being planted if Luffy could actually achieve being being the Pirate King. That doubt within the Straw Hats. You know what I'm saying? And it would be something where Luffy ultimately has to conquer that doubt. Not Luffy, but Luffy in the Straw Hats might have to conquer that doubt. You know, and I think one thing that could showcase that is even if they lose the battle, there may be like a short window of despair of doubt where the Straw Hats doubt Luffy, but maybe Luffy may have a moment, something like Odin, where Odin was getting boiled and he had to save his crew. You know, he had to save his retainers, and Luffy may have a something like that, which may bring back that may put aside that doubt that may hush that doubt. You know what I'm saying? There may be something that will hush that doubt. Try to be clear what I'm saying. But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I have to say. You know, I just kind of wanted. I just found that little saying interesting, and it just kind of gave you an alternative popped in my head saying, you know, what if y'all lose the battle? What if y'all don't conquer this battle? You know, you know. I think we'll probably really get into the depths of this fight once Luffy comes back. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it might be like we'll get into this fight, and then after the fight is over, Luffy returns to fight for a rematch for Kaido. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Either one of those two scenarios is what I think is going to happen. Of, you know, Luffy returning to Onigashima. But what do you guys think? That's pretty much all I have to talk about on the chapter. What do you guys think about the chapter? What do you guys think about the Raizo and Fukuro Kujo relationship and fight? What about the Hawkins and Killer fight? The Big Mom versus Kid and Law fight? You know, now we getting Nekomamushi Perospero fight. I mean, this chapter basically set up a lot of fights. You know, the Zoro Sanji versus King and Queen fight. Which fight? I mean, I'm pretty sure most people gonna say Zoro and Sanji. So I'm gonna say, aside from the Zoro and Sanji fight, which fight are y'all most most excited to see? But anyway, that's gonna be everything. Y'all let me know what y'all think about chapter. Make sure you like the stream, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications for when I go live. I try to do these One Piece discussions every Sunday, or whenever the official chapter does drop, whether it's on a Monday or Tuesday or Saturday, whatever. I would do these discussions. They just tend to drop on Sundays, so that's when I do them. On the weeks that we don't have a chapter, I'll do a different discussion. So y'all make sure y'all hit that bell for notifications so y'all know when I do go live. And anyway, join my One Piece Discord where we talk about One Piece. Of course. One Piece Facebook group. All these should be in the description. The link should be in the description. My Instagram, my Twitter, all in the description at Blumph God. Anyway, I'm out of here. Peace.